new at Europe, which is really looking at Western world. You have 85% of people who have a university degree. You have a majority of young generation who travel around the world, so they know what kind of life they want. And so, you know, when we think about the future, I think that the future of Ukrainian women is somewhere there with Europe. And so that's what kind of women they are.
Elena, it's hard at the moment to think of the future right now, but in these very dark times, what hopes do you have for your country?
We still have a big hope for the victory of my force militaire, Ukrainian. And we really hope that in some time we will rebuild our country. But you know, we really need your help, help from Europe, help from United States. Most of all, we need the help of shelter our sky, because it's the most dangerous thing in my life now, and in life of many Ukrainians. So just shelter our sky, and we will do the rest.
Anastasia, your thoughts?
Well, just several days ago, you know, Ukraine made the official inquiry to join Europe, and I think that that is our future. Russia wants us to go back, to go somewhere where Ukraine won't be anymore. And I think that maybe they didn't understand, actually, that men and women of this country are not ready to go back. They are looking into the future, and the future for them that gives them that power and that strength to fight every day, to, you know, to wake up in the morning, to hear the sirens, to hear the bombings, but however, to take their arms and to go and fight. And when I see how strong they are, I'm really confident about the future.
Anastasia, thank you so much. And also, Elena and your family, please stay safe. And thank you so much for giving us some of your time.
Thank you.
And that's it for now. You can connect with us on Facebook, that's France24.51%, and on Twitter at _51%. So until our next show, bye for now.
Ukraine and Russia agree to open humanitarian corridors from Sumy and other cities in Ukraine. Skepticism surrounding the plans, though, after earlier proposals would have seen refugees fleeing back into Russia and Russia's ally, Belarus. Almost 2 weeks of war have trapped tens of thousands of Ukrainians, leaving them without food, water, heat, or electricity. Close to 2 million people have now been displaced, the UN saying half of them are children. And 21 people killed in shelling overnight in the town of Sumy, 2 children among the dead. But as Russian forces continue their attacks across the country, the Ukrainians are fighting back and holding their own, particularly in the capital. Hello, everyone. This is our continuing coverage of Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Well, Ukraine has started evacuating civilians from the northeastern city of Sumy and from the town of Irpin near the capital, Kyiv. The evacuations began after Russian and Ukrainian officials agreed to establish humanitarian corridors to let civilians out of some key towns and cities besieged by Russian forces. Sumy was particularly hard hit overnight. Russian shelling there left 21 people dead, including 2 children. Solange Mougin has more now from Irpin, a suburb northwest of Kyiv.
Amidst the rubble from the bombed bridge above their heads, these residents of Irpin relied on a slippery and slick plank, a simple piece of wood in icy water as a main pathway out. Fleeing Russian bombs, some 10,000 people are thought to have crossed out of Irpin in the past 5 days. Some did not make it. Others were carried with help from everyday citizens and soldiers.
I'm a legionnaire, the Foreign Legion of France.
France 24's team on the ground met one of these soldiers as he crossed back and forth.
I want to tell all Ukrainians in France not to fear. All is well. We will win. It's a certainty. Soon you'll be able to return to your homes. Please pass this message, okay?
The United Nations says that the number of Ukrainian refugees could top 2 million by Wednesday. Moscow issued a new proposal for the safe passage of civilians after a previous offer of humanitarian corridors leading to Russia and to Belarus was struck down by Kyiv. The Kremlin said new routes are now open in the capital and 4 other cities. Ukrainian officials confirmed that evacuations had begun in Irpin and in the northeastern city of Sumy. The deputy prime minister said, though, that they'd received information that Russian forces plan to disrupt the corridors.
We call on Russia not to manipulate the promises of humanitarian corridors in regard to the evacuation of civilians and foreign students from Sumy and Poltava. Ukraine is ready to ensure the security of routes. We have informed Russia and the Red Cross of this.
In a Monday address, Ukraine's president lambasted Russia's previous offers of corridors, saying that Russian forces had actually targeted civilians by booby-trapping roads.
Since the Russian invasion began 13 days ago, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has repeatedly asked for a no-fly zone over the country. Now, that's something the international community has refused to do for fears of provoking a bigger conflict with Russia. Well, speaking today, Zelensky denounced what he called unkept promises from the West.
The responsibility also lies with those in the West who, for the past 13 days, have not been able to make the decision to protect Ukrainian skies from these bombs, rockets, and missiles, even though they can.
Well, Germany's federal prosecutor has opened an investigation into possible war crimes by Russian troops since the invasion began. That comes one day after Ukraine pleaded with the International Court of Justice to order a halt to Russia's invasion, saying Moscow is committing widespread war crimes. Well, joining me now on the set is France 24's chief foreign editor, Rob Parsons. Rob, you just got back from Kyiv a few days ago. We're going to talk a bit more about what that experience was like for you when you were shooting there. First of all, what are your initial impressions just coming back like that, fresh from the field?
You know, what's happening is horrific. You know, it's almost unimaginable. It felt at times as if it was surreal, that it really, what you were seeing with your own eyes couldn't possibly be true. That, you know, at this time in